Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another episode of Major Mondays. Y'all already know this your boy OG Major. You know what I'm saying? This episode today, I wanted to talk more about one of my personal loves, which is the music business. For those who know me, you guys know I've been doing music for quite some time, over 10, 15 years or somewhere around there. I've been doing music. And along the years I've learned a lot in this field, and I even went to school to, like I stated before in the past, I went to school to learn more about engineering. And in school they taught me about the business of music. So some people may or may not know that, the music business itself is exactly that. It is a business. So if you're not taking care of your business, you won't really make money, with the music industry. So we're gonna start by talking about the roles in the music industry, because sometimes people reach out to me for the wrong reasons, and they're looking for a manager when they really need a publicist. They're looking for, they're looking for a business lawyer when they really need a manager, or they a marketing team. So things of that nature. So let's start. Let's get right into it. We're gonna start with the roles in the industry. So the first role that you might be already familiar with is the artist. The artist is the performer, or the person singing into the microphone. Or if there's a band, there's a band, the band could be considered the artists as well. But we're just going to keep it to a general state of just one artist, one singer, or one rapper, so to speak. So that person can be um, writing for themselves, or they could just be performing other people's lyrics. So that's the title. That is the definition of an artist: someone who is performing, someone who is the vocalist on a music recording. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, now the songwriter is the person who is writing these lyrics that go on the song. And the songwriter is very important, obviously, but the songwriter doesn't have to be the artist. But in most cases, the artist is the songwriter. So just to clarify what I mean by that, you can have someone writing your songs, but they not be an artist. They would just get songwriter credits on your project or your record, and you will perform the lyrics that they write. And a lot of people do this. A lot of people practice this. A lot of R&B singers use songwriters. Some rappers, they use ghostwriters, as they call them. People in the background writing for you, and making sure that you have dope lyrics, or catchy bars throughout your song. So the next role on the list is a producer. A producer back in the days generally was the person who was in charge of basically being the creative leader on the song. He made sure that the band was together. He made sure that the studio sessions was paid for. He made sure everything came together. So nowadays that word is thrown around loosely, because a lot of beat makers consider themselves to be producers, because that is the credits that they wish to earn off your record. But I'm here to let you know, just because you make beats does not make you a producer of the record. And only an unprofessional or uneducated artist would allow you to put the tag of producer on their record, because the producer gets a different special type of royalty that only someone who is doing that job title should get. So a producer it could be all of the above. He could be someone who is arranging the the song elements, with, like, okay, the hook goes here, we'll put the verse here, we'll put the intro first, we'll put the outro here. Like, he is arranging, and he is also helping creatively find the right beat to go with the right lyrics. If he didn't write those lyrics, or if he didn't make that beat, he is in charge of making sure that the right lyrics go with the right beat and for the right artist. It is a combination of all those things, as well as sometimes the producer might be the one who just pays for the studio time. If you have someone who is paying for your studio time and is investing in you in a way that he is pretty much supervising the project, he might want production credits, because he is producing it. He is paying for the production to be made. So that can, that can be translated loosely into basically watch who you let pay for your studio time, because you may be giving them the right to be your producer. Um, Also, a producer could be someone who is bringing everyone together. He could be the one who is bringing everyone together, and he uh, is giving input. Like, for instance, DJ Khaled, he might get a beat and he sees that this beat will fit good with T-Pain. So he calls up T-Pain and says, "Hey, T-Pain, I want you to get on this song and I want it to be a hook about winning." And then T-Pain goes in the booth and says, "All I do is win, win, win." So he kind of creatively, in that sense, I'm not saying this is exactly what happened for that song, but I'm just giving examples of creatively, it was DJ Khaled who would have been the producer by getting T-Pain, the artist, to sing about winning. So you guys follow me. And then next, for the producer, the next person on the roles in the industry will be the manager. A manager is also someone who is, that role has been confused through the years. A manager does not have to invest into your music career. A manager is generally there to manage things. They are there to manage your bookings, manage your features, manage incoming deals, manage your schedule, making sure that the sound check goes at time, and making sure you're picked up at time, booking your flights, booking hotels, making sure that the artist is as comfortable as possible so that they can continue being what they are, which is the artist, which is a creative person and a brand. This manager role is not the role of an investor. Investors are usually the label, but we'll get to their role in a minute. So a manager generally takes somewhere between 10 to 20%, depending on his clout or his resources. A manager is supposed to bring certain resources and help you take your career to the next level. They're not there to make sure that your beats are, slapping, or they're not there to mix your music. They're not there to help you write songs. Although managers can do some of these things, if you haven't worked out with them like that, feel free to go ahead. When artists first start out, sometimes the team that they have is taking on multiple jobs. You might have somebody who is investing in you, but he's also acting as a producer and acting as a manager because he has his money on the line. So he's going to fulfill the needs of those roles, so to speak, until you guys get to the level where you can pay or hire someone else to do it. So that is what a manager does. A lot of times a manager shouldn't be even, recruited on the team until there's a lot of bookings coming in. Until you have bookings coming in on a regular where people are emailing you, contacting you, and trying to hit you up about your product, about your music, about your services, your features, if you're a comedian, about comedy, whatever it is that you do, you don't really need a manager until you're getting those calls. Until you get those calls, you will need somebody like a publicist. So that brings me to my next role in the music industry, which is a publicist. A publicist is someone who helps you get your music out there, or your whatever it is your product is. It could be a book, it could be, a movie, whatever it is. A publicist is here to help you get to the public. They have connections to the media. They may have connections to the newspapers, influencers, a publicist, magazines. They will be the ones to help you get your product or your service out to the public. Businesses can use publicists as well. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I just wanted to inform the listeners that if you own a business, it wouldn't be a bad idea to hire a publicist to help you get your business out there. You may want to do some charity work, things of that nature. A publicist also can help you clean up a bad image. So if you for instance, got your name in a crazy scandal, and you may want to hire a publicist to help you get some of those bad reports off of your name. You could probably hire a publicist to help you go to a bigger media outlet, and they will probably give you an interview, something like that, just to help smooth out whatever bad situation you may be in. Publicists are very important. So the next role is your marketing team. The marketing team is going to be the team. Well, you could call it marketing and promotion, but marketing is different from promotion. I'll tell you how. Marketing is the process of finding your audience. So that means you have to find the audience that is there to listen to your music, your tribe, as I like to call it. You want to find your tribe. So the process of marketing helps do that. Marketing is doing free shows. Marketing could be doing interviews and podcasts. Marketing could consist of charity work, all set up by the publicist, of course, but that's a part of marketing. Getting your product or your creative work to the public so that way they can see it, in hopes of finding who likes what, finding your demographic, finding out that you do well with 18-year-olds in Black America, or you might find that you do well with Caucasians from 25 and up, and things of that nature. So your marketing team is going to help you find your market. Your promotion team is going to be the team that is in charge of putting together the promotions, helping you come up with the task or the tactics that you use to implement to that market that you find. So your promotion team is going to help promote and get the advertisements out, while your marketing team is going to study that data and figure out who is for you, which demographic is your specific customers, and how do we reach them? What do they like? Your marketing team is going to be in charge of finding out if you find out that you do well with a certain demographic, let's say a 18 to 25 crowd, and we find out that most of your crowd likes Young Jeezy. So you will get your marketing team to market around Young Jeezy's next project, or you might market around his fans or things of that nature. So the marketing team is going to really analyze those data that's coming in from ads and promotion, and they're going to help you find out who and what type of person is buying your product. So if there's any more questions on those things, you guys could DM me. I'm going to jump into the next part of this, which is royalty. What is I'm sorry. Before we get to royalty, we want to talk about what is a label or a publishing company. A label is the people that invest in you. They might have the resources to do so, where they invest in you and they put the money behind your project. And in exchange for putting the money up for your project, they're going to take a piece of your copywriting. We'll talk about the different types of deals you can sign with a label, but that is what a label or a publishing company does in exchange for advancement to produce, and in exchange for investing money to produce your project. They exchange copyrights, or they want a piece of the income that comes back. As of recent, one of the most recent type of deals that the industry labels are using is called a 360 deal. I'll go into that a little bit more later in this segment. But back what I was saying. So royalties are how artists get paid. A royalty can be defined into 4 different types. The first one is a performance royalty, which is mechanical royalties are paid out whenever a copy of a song is made. Hold on. I made a mistake there. That's mechanical royalties. I didn't mean to jump the gun. Mechanical royalties are paid whenever a copy of a song is made. Think back to the days of records and cassettes. Whenever music is reproduced, it is required a mechanical process to reproduce it. So these are mechanical royalties. So anytime you have a CD or a cassette or anything that is mechanically produced, that is called a mechanical royalty. Nowadays, you can still get mechanical royalties for a number of ways besides just from cassettes and CDs. A performance royalty is when your song is being played or you or yourself are playing it. Performance royalties can be considered as radio, streams, things of that nature will all be considered as performance. The next one would be synchronization or microsync. Microsyncs are what they do on Instagram, those little 15-second clips. of your music playing in the background of somebody else's video will be considered a microsync. Regular syncs are music that hold on, I wrote some stuff down. When someone syncs your music to a visual media like a movie, TV show, YouTube, video game, commercial, etc., you'll get paid sync royalties. So anytime you hear a song in the back of a movie or in a video game, that is considered a synchronization royalty. I myself have been able to take part in this. I've had one of my songs on a video game, and they pay pretty good. Sometimes they pay up front, and then they give you a small royalty on the back end per unit sold, or they'll just give you a decent amount of royalty on the back end, depending on, where they're at and how much money and budget goes into that project. Now, print music royalties are just like they sound. They're royalties that come from the sale of sheet music. These royalties are typically split between songwriters and the publishers. Naturally, this type of royalty applies only to songwriters who release their music as sheet music. If you focus mainly on mechanical and performance royalties, it's not uncommon for musicians to not get any print music royalties. So if you are a composer or if you are a producer, printing your sheet music might come in handy if you have a nice ballad, or if you anticipate people wanting to play your music for bands, or for if you have a really big record, they might want to play your music at a wedding, or do a cover of your song, and then in that case they might need the sheet music. So this will be considered print. So that's it for royalties. We'll talk more about royalties in a second, but basically the main ways to recoup your royalties, these steps are not in no direct order, but they all coexist within the same. The steps needed to recoup royalties are: you need to register. Nowadays, most people, if you're independent, if you sign to a label, they're going to take care of all this. So, it's good to know about it, but basically you won't be the one setting this up because they'll be in charge of your copyrights. So, as an independent artist, you'll need to do this on your own. You need to set up digital distribution with either TuneCore, United Masters, or CD Baby, or if there's another company that does digital distribution out there, I'm not familiar with them. You can go with them as well. But the main top three big dogs are TuneCore, United Masters, and CD Baby. I'm personally with TuneCore because TuneCore has been around longest. Well, I wouldn't say if they've been around longest, but they have been around, to my knowledge, longer than the other two. And I just like TuneCore. They're very intuitive. They have a lot of services. You can mix and master your music on there. They have just tons of services for artists that you could use. So I'm with TuneCore. TuneCore also has a partnership with BMI that brings us to our next royalty recoupment that you'll need to sign up for, which is performing rights organizations, also known as PROs. You have BMI and ASCAP, and there's a few others out there, but these are the top two. Like I said, I'm with BMI. To recoup international royalties, you want to use Sound Exchange or Song Trust. Both of these collect royalties from radio spins internationally. And the other thing you might want to do, I just threw this in there because it's important. Some people do not know about it. But you can, as an artist, when you talk about copyrights and your name and things of that nature, one of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to trademark your name. And how you do this is you get a graphic designer to design your name with, some type of unique font, or, with designs and images that coexist together to create a logo, so to speak. And then you want to trademark this logo under your company or artist name, so that way nobody won't be able to use your name in the event that you do blow up, which is the goal. So in your contract, you want to pay attention to these type of names. Something else I want to throw out there to you that we spoke about earlier is a 360 deal. The 360 deal basically is the label takes a piece of the artist's total income, including and not limited to touring, shows or concerts, songwriting, merchandising, motion picture acting, fan clubs, and sponsorship money, which is new to me. I didn't know that they could take sponsorship money as well. Labels argue that they are brand building. So the thing is with the labels is that they realized that they weren't making much money off of just performing. I mean, off of just like selling music because of the whole streaming business. That streams are very low paying. You'd have to get 1 million streams to even make like about $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it is that you got to do. But it's pennies on the dollar. So labels have come to realize that streaming, it's not much money in streaming, and the money is more into features, more into movie, movie situations, or performancing. So they decided to make themselves get a piece of all of this. So as of recent, now, depending on your leverage, you can argue to do a 180 deal where they only get 50% of everything, or some labels are doing a 270 deals where it is an option, depending on your power. And on a 180 deal, they might get a piece of everything plus one other incentive like streaming, or they might get a piece of performances and concerts, depending on the situation. Or with the 270 deal, they might have two options, so it might be a choice of two different things. So that's some of the basics of the music business 101. I'm gonna be getting into more of these topics as we go on with our further episodes. Recently, I've been having a lot of requests for me to get in on these topics. I'm going to be doing more of these with in-depth. I'm going to be doing an in-depth segment about how to market yourself as an artist, how to promote yourself. We're going to talk about mixing and mastering. We will be talking about tons of other subjects, but I felt like initially we needed to get in here and just talk about the basic 101. So again, just as an overview, we talked about the roles of an artist, the roles of a songwriter, manager, entertainment lawyer, and I think I forgot about the business lawyer. So entertainment lawyer will deal with most of your contracts for the entertainment business. But if you plan on doing other business ventures and investing your money, you're going to want to need a business lawyer. So those two are very, very needed as you grow. I would say get a business lawyer before you get a manager. I'm sorry, get an entertainment lawyer before you get a manager. You'll need an entertainment lawyer before you need any of the other roles in the music industry, except for maybe, a songwriter. You'll always need a songwriter in the beginning, but I wouldn't get a songwriter on board, at least until I have spoken to an entertainment lawyer so that I know my rights and I know what I'm getting myself into. You may want to come up with a custom contract if you already have followers and you have a fan base going and you started singing. Let's say you're an influencer and you have over 50,000, 100,000 followers, and you get a songwriter who has never really written for someone before. You might have more leverage to be able to say, hey, I have a good opportunity for, my songs to do better based on this, and based on this, that. And I want to structure my contract as followed. So you want to get with an entertainment lawyer to help you structure your contract best fitting for you. We also talked about a producer, the roles of a producer. We talked about the publicist and what they do. You want to get with a good publicist. Having a good publicist on your team is very key. I didn't learn about having publicists until later on in my career. I wish I had knew more about them earlier, but I definitely have one that I work with now, and she gives me insight. I pay her for different types of work, and I'll be using her more in the future as I venture off into different businesses and different endeavors. And then we talked about your marketing team. Your marketing team is very, very important. If I were you, I would get maybe like a team of 2 people to just run my Instagram and to be on point with my ads. That's really the main focus for my marketing team, is running my Instagram and running my ads, making sure that my ads are staying on point. Maybe your marketing team can help you develop what's called a click funnel. We'll get into click funneling later on another episode when I get really in depth about marketing and promotion. But basically, in a nutshell, ClickFunnels are a link where you set up a landing page, and then it has automation set up for those clickers or those viewers to go down what's called a journey, and the journey will help decipher what type of customer they are. Are they contacting you for music related stuff? Are they contacting you because they want to buy a beat from you? Like what type of customer or subscriber should I call them? What type of subscribers should you label them as? Because you want to label different types of subscribers for different types of advertisement. You don't want to be sending the wrong advertisement to the wrong follower or subscriber, because that'll just render no type of results. So that's basically it for today's episode of Major Mondays. Tune in next week when we have another guest, and we'll get more in detail about entrepreneurism and different businesses that you can start out with less than $1,000. That's going to be our topic for the next show. Businesses that you can start with under $1,000. This is your boy OG Major, and I'll see you next week on Major Mondays.
We Major